Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest stories, trends, and innovations from leaders in global connectivity, digital infrastructure, and the networks within. And we are coming to you live in beautiful Times Square, New York City at DCD Connect New York 2024. And I am sitting here with my new best friend in the industry, Mr. Sam Rabinowitz. Sam works for Lantana LED, a leader in sustainable lighting solutions. Sam is also a contributing author to the upcoming Greener Data Volume 2. Sam, welcome to JSA TV. It's been so great catching up with you already.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yes, it is wonderful. It's wonderful to be back.
Yeah, awesome. So, Sam, we're here to talk about lighting, and we're only a few months into 2024.
Oh.
But Lantana has already seen already had some major successes. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about those successes?
Yeah. Thank you. It's been a great year already, is what I would say. We've had some great momentum, certainly within the data center industry itself, but then also the adoption of the new product families that we talked about earlier this year at PTC, and then at the end of last year has been spectacular, both amongst our channels as well as directly with our data center customers. We even actually were nominated for the Best Light Fixture of the Year in Engineering Review for our Lucent Troffer, which has been absolutely fantastic, exciting, thrilling. I'm really proud of the entire team, of the engineering team, of the marketing team. This has been a great ride for us at the beginning of the year.
That's amazing, Sam. Thank you for that. Key consideration for data center operators is operational and construction risk mitigation strategy. So let's talk about risk mitigation and how lighting plays into that equation.
Yeah. Listen, I say this to our data center owners. I say this to the data center engineers. Lighting is not people's first thought when they think of data centers, right? And nor should it be. There are some big problems that need to be solved. However, lighting is still required for fire life safety code. It's still required for a certificate of occupancy. And therefore, it is not just a byproduct. So what we talk about with our data center owners, what we talk about with the kind of operational considerations that they think through is how do their data centers function? And more importantly, how do their data centers function with these new AI workloads? What's different between the CPU and GPU aisle that we've gotten into over the past 12 to 24 months here? And how does that affect every component, let alone lighting, especially lighting for us, but how does that affect every component? So for us, we think about high heat ratings. We think about the increased heat that these new AI workloads generate on the aisle level, on the rack level. And we think about how do we design products for these owners, for these use cases that simplify operations, that reduce risk. We've had customers of ours come up and say, we had 4 weeks of over 110 degrees Fahrenheit in Arizona, and our light fixtures began to fail. That shouldn't be the case. Right. We should be planning and delivering new products as well as existing products that are specifically designed for these environments, that are specifically designed to reduce the risk to operations and, most importantly, reduce the actual speed of installation and speed of turnover.
Now, Sam, I told you I was going to go off script, and here we go.
Brilliant.
Okay, so I was talking to Legrand earlier. Legrand, are you familiar with Legrand?
Very.
Okay, so when we talk about data centers and we talk about some of these ancillary things that, as you said, sometimes aren't top of mind when we're talking about data center connecting and the fiber within and lighting and things like that, they all contribute to the advancement of these next generation technologies. And you mentioned AI, and if I thought that I was going to hear AI and lighting in the same sentence today, I would have said no. I'm not. That's not going to happen. Yet here we are. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about how the evolution of the technology is impacting the lighting industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are a couple of different ways, actually a few different ways. If you don't mind, I'll go into this. First and foremost, there's just the byproduct of what happens when somebody else does something and how does it affect my product. We just talked about that, where, okay, AI is affecting us on a product level in the sense of where we put our products now has changed in terms of design and changed in terms of output. Therefore, we have to think about that. That's first and foremost. Secondly, how do we then network and interface our what sometimes are described as dumb products into a smart system, a smarter system that leverages AI technology to make it even more energy efficient?
There it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is, frequently people talk about this thing called a lights out data center.
Yep.
When you think about lights out data centers, don't think that there are no lights in a data center. That's quite a misnomer. What it really hones in on is something we partner deeply with Legrand, and in particular their WattStopper division on, which is controls. And that is really what Lights Out is about. How do we control fixtures and energy consumption in a data center in order to deliver the most energy efficiency as possible? And we do so through sensors. We do so through centralized control systems that turn on and off lights, dim lights, etc., to provide this lights out data center that's really just about how do we turn off the light without flipping off a switch at the end of the day and make sure that it isn't just left on. Third is, on top of that level of control, how do we apply machine learning into
There's another one of those buzzwords, folks.
Exactly, into perfecting these controls, into perfecting the flow of energy here, into perfecting the actual usage of the light fixture themselves in a data center. And we think about this all the time, both on the design side and the engineering side, but then also on deliberate partnerships with market-leading companies that are driving this into data centers and into all of our markets beyond just data centers. I mean, taking a step back from data centers themselves, obviously data centers are incredibly focused on energy efficiency, quickly becoming one of the larger single segment energy consumers in the world.
Yeah.
But before there were data centers, before there was even, this, I should say, not before there were data centers, but before there was this focus on data centers, there was what in California was known as Title 24 compliance, which is energy code compliance, which is lighting controls compliance as well. So what's old is new.
Yeah.
And what's really exciting about what's old is new is that now we're applying it at gigantic scale, at massive data center level scale.
And at those scales, any little bit of efficiency is a big bit of efficiency. And that, folks, is why Sam is here and why Sam is in Greener Data.
Yes.
Okay, Sam, I know we could talk all afternoon, but we can't talk all afternoon. But okay, so last question.
Please.
The crowd here at DCD New York includes a lot of data center leaders, as you know. What is important for them? If you could talk to every data center leader in the show floor, and maybe you already have, what would you say to them is the single most important thing about lighting that they should know right now?
You still need it. And it can work for you. It doesn't have to work against you. It doesn't have to be an afterthought. It doesn't have to be a shrug of, well, whatever we get from the contractor is the best we're going to get. That's wrong. What actually we should be thinking about is thinking just as deliberately, just as strategically as we apply to every other component and part of the data center. Same can be applied to lighting, because what was normally the kind of de rigueur of the lighting industry in data centers was just, okay, well, we'll apply the same fixture that we've used in 15 other building types, and to data center it'll be fine. On the contrary, the unique operating conditions found within the data center, in fact, require different lights. You wouldn't use an office light fixture in a hot aisle. That would be inefficient and actually inappropriate to the application.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're going to end there. I mean, that would be beautifully summed up. Sam, thank you very much for being with us today. I appreciate it very much. Absolutely. And thank you, viewers. Stay curious, and we'll see you soon.